Good afternoon. We're so glad to once again to come together. And we know this afternoon we're going out into community to have a voice and encourage our residents in the community to know that we're there for them. We got a couple of things we're going to talk about. Sergeant Rita will come up and give us a safety briefing. We've kind of broke down in pretty much groups. We're going to go in different groups today where we can canvass the whole neighborhood together, but we're going to do certain blocks within the neighborhood. There are some names I see that's here that are not on the list. So as we prepare to go into that neighborhood, we'll break you down and attach you to different groups. We're going in fours. So at this time, we'll get into the hands of Sergeant Rader that he can kind of discuss the safety side of it. Also, we'll go over the groups. At this time, Sergeant Rader, Lynchburg Police Department.
How's everybody doing today? Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. I'm just going to go over the premise of kind of what's going on and as far as the area goes and why we're here tonight. So I just got a brief statement to go over real quick. The LPD would like to make the community aware of a community-informed policing effort in the area of Cabell Street and Rivermont Avenue. Residents have voiced their concerns to the LPD about the negative effect that crime's having in their community and their well-being. The LPD has listened to the residents' concerns in the areas of Cabell Street and Amherst Street in the city, and we're responding with a specific tailored action plan with goals of enhancing community safety and improving their quality of life. This plan involves very specific efforts this evening involving the partnerships with the One Voice, One Community, or the acronym OCOV. Tonight, the LPD, along with the pastors and community leaders, will go door to door in these areas to obtain feedback from the residents and also provide them with information. Officer Lee has handed out a few handouts to some of the team leaders, which are the pastors. And I'm just going to have, when I say the pastor's name, just please stand up because you're actually going to lead a team. Pastor Floyd, if he's here tonight, this is Pastor Floyd. Under him, I say that facetiously, Angie Cox, Linda Contreras, Sterling Wilder, and Jeremy Jackson. When we leave, if the team leader or pastor could get with their group and just let them know we're going to be meeting at the funeral home around 1800 hours, give or take, depending on when we get out of here. And then you guys will be responsible for the group, and you have a specific signed area. Officer Lee gave you those papers if you have any questions. Where's Officer Lee? Yeah. All right. He'll get you that paper, and I'll give you the actual assigned area. Your area for Team 1 is the 1000 block of Cabell Street to 1106 Cabell Street. That'll be your area. Team 2, Pastor Cam. We all know who Pastor Cam is. He was just up here a moment ago. Robin Robinson, Dolores, Wistar, I'm sorry if I don't say your name right, Magellan, and James Arnold. That will be group number 2. You'll be responsible for 900 block of Cabell to 952 Cabell Street. Team 3, Pastor Keys. And with his group, it's Ruth Anderson, Elaine Robertson, Theo Griffin, Phil Reed. Team 4, Pastor David Stewart, Diane Stewart, Bethany Harrison, Rick Marshall, and Larry Taylor. And you'll be responsible for the 1100 block to the 1125 block of Early Street. I'm just going to go over some basic safety. This isn't to insult anybody's intelligence at all, so bear with me, but we just want to go over some safety aspects of the walk before we start. I want you guys to identify and know your team officer, which today we have Officer Rose, Officer Hughes, and Officer Kaja, standing over here to my right, and your team leaders who I just went over, which is the pastors of the group. Be aware of your surroundings and the traffic at all times. There are vehicles coming and going in these areas, so just be mindful of that. I don't think it's going to be very dusk out there, but it has been a little rainy today, so just be aware of your surroundings and the traffic in the area. Well, walking through the group, what I'd like in a perfect world is just maintain eyesight every once in a while on your group officer. I'm not saying this is a war zone, ladies and gentlemen, but you know, we are going door to door and we don't know who the residents are, so just be aware where your officer is at any time. And the reason for that is if a crime does occur or something happens, we do not want you to intervene at all. You're not law enforcement officers, but please be the eyes and ears. If you can't see your team officer and let him know, then you need to call 911 if it's an emergency, obviously. And then just report what you see and obviously get to a safe location if something happens. Other than that, again, we'll be leaving here. Pastor Cam has arranged some transportation. He has 2 large church vans. If you'd like to ride in the church van, that'd be great. We have 2 drivers. I believe they hold anywhere from 9 to 15 people, from what I was told. But you can take your own vehicle to the funeral home. We've made arrangements where you can park in the parking lot there. This shouldn't take a very long time. I'm looking at 30 to 45 minutes tops. If it goes any longer, at 18:50, that's 6:50 p.m., we'll stop the walk and then meet back at the funeral home. And then the officers and the team leaders, who again are the pastors, I want you guys responsible for making sure your team's back and accounted for and safe. And then we'll proceed back here to the church, and we can just do a quick head count here at the church, and then we can all go home. There will be a debrief. We're not going to do the debrief this evening. We'll do that at the next One Community, One Voice meeting, which will be the first Thursday of every month, and that will be at this church. Forgive me, I don't have the exact date, but obviously it's going to be the first Thursday of September. So count on a debriefing there on how well the walk went. Before we leave, my officers have some notepads and pens. If you get any information, we're there just to see how the residents are doing. Ask them how their neighborhood is. Ask them how safe they feel in their neighborhood. If they have any kind of information for you, or they want to give you any kind of information, jot it down on the notepad, and you can get that to either Pastor Cam or myself at a later date, or at the next One Voice, One Community meeting. Does anybody have any questions?
How much information are we trying to receive from the resident, the name and their address, of course, and whatever comments that may have regarding how safe they feel in their neighborhoods, just kind of engage in that, but just see how they feel as far as things.
Well, the whole premise of this meeting today is obviously we've had a lot of criminal activity at Amherst and Cabell Street, and One Voice, One Community is working cohesively with the LPD to address these issues. We want to build trust in those neighborhoods. So what we're trying to do, just get to know the person. My officers are going to be out there trying to get to know the people, ask them how they're doing, how their neighborhood is. We got to kind of play it by ear, because some people, I'm just going to be honest, don't be offended, but they may not want to talk to you. They may close the door in your face, and that's okay. Maybe they're just having a bad day, but we'll go on to the next house, and that's what we're trying to do. For those of you who are clergy or have churches, we're okay with you handing out some church cards, business cards. Let them know who you are. Let them know what church you're with. Or if you want to pray with them, that's fine with us too. Yes, Pastor Ken.
Thank you. Also, we wanted to, thank you, Sergeant. Also, we want to ensure that the residents know that we are there. We have a couple of flyers we want to hand to them, kind of introduce yourself. One is saying it's enough. We want to encourage them and embolden them to realize that it's enough to allow those things that have been going on in their neighborhood to continue. And what we came with the acronym, and it's enough, it says empower neighborhoods to overcome the undesirable behavior and generate hope. So what we're trying to do is tell them it's time for them to realize we're taking back our neighborhoods. So we want to give this flyer out. Also, we're going to give them information today that is going to talk about reducing crime, some numbers they can reach out to, let us know anything that they want us to know. Realize that some of us as clergy leaders that will be out there, and some of those residents may even feel a little more comfortable talking to us. And hopefully by us being there, it can break down their petition of concern. We're going to be able to feel that they're showing by us coming together with the police department that they are serving, not only but just protecting. And I think that us together today is going to make a great statement. We want those neighbors to know in that neighborhood that they need to tell if they see something. If they see it, say something. And those clergy, we've encouraged them to have information about their churches, because not only are we concerned about their safety, we're also concerned about their salvation walk. So we're going to do all that together today with the police department and us. I thank you. I see all walks of lives. I see all kind of community leaders, business owners, and we're all here with one concern, and let's change this. Amen? So as we go out today, we want God to bless us and protect us. We want our what we're doing to be effective. And I believe it will be, because they're going to see people concerned. Is that all right? Okay, so we thank you for all being here. We want to pray. Yes.
Do they know that there's so many people in the neighborhood that they don't know?
You're saying, does the citizens know that we're coming? We had an opportunity on yesterday to, there was a press release by the Lynchburg Police Department. We also did an interview yesterday with the news to inform them that we were coming. It'll still be a shock for some, but we do want them to know, hey, here we are. It's going to be a shock because it's unusual. And I think that's going to make a powerful statement that we're coming in love, we're coming to make a change, we're coming to help you and support you, that these changes in this neighborhood will not occur. Because we know that the city is stamping out poverty. We want poverty gone in our neighborhood. And part of it is drugs. Some of it is drug related. So we can stamp this out. We can stop that young kid from thinking this is okay. We can stamp out that drug distribution center right there. Will be a great effect for our community. Any other thing? Okay, we won't hold you long. We do want to pray, because I'm a firm believer that all that we do, we want God's intervention on it. We want those neighbors that's going to be surprised and shocked to receive us with love, that we're coming just to bless their lives. And we also want it to be so successful that some people become emboldened and feel they can take their neighborhoods back. Is that all right? So let us just pray. We thank you, God, for another opportunity to come together to effectively bless Lynchburg. We ask if you would just give us guidance today, God, as we knock on the doors, that there's something we can say and do that would encourage someone else's life to know you better and also to have more of a safe community. We need your guidance today. In Jesus' name, amen and amen. All right, now the weather. Let's see our block. All I need is my block, and we're going to go to work. 900 to 952. Thank you.
I'm Dolores.
All right, Team 2, we got 900 to 952. So let us go. All right. Y'all ready? All right, so the 900 block, we are going this. All right, y'all got that? Come on, bud. Yeah. What's up, man? How you doing? Mom, dad at home? Okay, I want to talk to you then. Is that all right? What's up with you? You know who I am? Pastor Cam. You never met me before? I know. Hey, listen, what we're doing today, we walk in the neighborhood because we know there's been a lot of crime here. And what we're really trying to do is make sure y'all are aware, as citizens in the neighborhood, that we're here with you. We got the police department and other community leaders and churches. We're really just coming by, let you know that we're there for you, got some information to hand to you so that you'll be aware of it. What we want to do, man, is make sure that it's safe. And look, I want to give you one of my cards. And she has it, my assistant, but you be here on the porch when I come back through. I'm going to give you one of my personal cards.
I got you.
You come back.
I got you.
All right, good to see you, man. Tell your parents about it, too, today.
Yes, sir.
Anybody next door you think they're at home?
I don't think you could try to. I don't know. I don't do it.
We just canvassing the neighborhood because we've heard a lot of problems with drugs. A lot of the citizens were calling the city, and we as a bunch of the clergy, police department starting to come through, say, hey man, let's make a difference, let's change this thing. Want to kind of empower you, encourage you that you see anything, man, that you can feel comfortable to contact the police department or any of us. We got some information here for you, brother, for it. And listen, the thing of it is that when you contact it, it's used anonymously. Your name won't ever be used. You know, we want you to feel that you can contact them and don't be worried about somebody retaliating against you for notifying them. But as beautiful as you got your property, I know you want your neighborhood safe.
Yes.
So we are there now trying to say, okay, we're here with you. Okay? So listen, we're there. Here's another one. Here's some numbers you can contact in any way we can help. Okay?
Okay.
Most of all, that you can contact the clergy and me, for example, and I'll definitely make it my business to talk to you and pass the information on to the police department if you feel more comfortable that way. Okay?
Okay.
And your name again?
My name is Raymond.
Thank you very much for seeing me today. All right? God bless you.
Thank you, brother.
Take care, Raymond.
Been here all the time and now.
Is it? Okay. Here, what we're trying to do, we come out. This is Pastor from C Street down the street. You know, I'm at Living Word Ministries.
Yeah.
And this is this is a business owner here in the city.
Okay.
And what we're coming together with is just letting everybody know there's been some drug dealing down here. And there's been a lot of complaints to the police department about it. And then there's been some shootings around in the neighborhood on Rivermont. That's not, look, those babies, they don't deserve to hear, see, and be involved in that. And what we did, we just canvassing the neighborhoods, letting them know we're here for you, giving you some information that, listen, this is the thing we're doing different. We're working with the police department, and if you see something, you may feel comfortable talking to me, and then I pass the information without your name, number, or anybody knowing who you are. So the clergy wants to let you know we there too, so you can feel, because it's enough of that. You know what I mean? It's enough that my baby can't go up there to that convenience store without them somebody lurking or something that's inappropriate around them, or you know. So we want to change that. Deal? So we need your help. And so let us know now. And you know who I am. Y'all know who I am. So there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Did the other group keep on going? They way on ahead. So I'm assuming that they've touched all these. What do you think? You agree?
I would say you'd have to assume that.
Has anybody been canvassing the other side of the street? Do you know? They've been on that side? Oh, okay. So I'm kind of concerned. What we'll do is go down to that block and start working our way back on that side, so I can kind of tell them we're, you know, so we don't have to run into each other. Man, it's excellent. So that looks. And give me a couple more. Thank you. Oh yeah, I can see. I seen her. She, huh?
I'm a quiet, shy person. She's been. I'm glad I got someone.
Man, there's a lot of history in this. Man, when I grew up, this street right here was just immaculate, wasn't it? And you know, and never heard of anything of this nature. So we really need to push to change that. It should go back to just that. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Pastor Cam, Living Word Ministries, how you doing today? We in the arrest of some of the other churches, and the police department is coming through canvassing the neighborhood because we've heard of a lot of crime and issues that's been going on. Yeah. We're trying to change that a little bit. One, the neighbors to know we're here for them, and also to inform them that there's ways that you can get involved to let us know in one way or another we can help. One of the ways is that we've got here some numbers for the police department, but also there's quite a few of us clergy here today. I'm clergy of Living Word Ministries on Taylor Street. And what we want to let you know is that even if you feel more comfortable talking to one of us about issues you may see, don't hesitate to contact us in any way. I'm going to give you some numbers here today so you can do such. But remember, if you see something, say something. And it doesn't always, your name don't have to be involved. But we want to make sure we take back these streets for our kids and make them safe again. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine, man.
All right. So here we have some information. I want to hand it to you and allow you to have that at least today. Is that okay if I give you that?
Yeah.
All right. Once again, your name?
I don't really want to.
Okay, that's fine. My name is James Pastor Cam. Okay? All right?
All right.
Thank you for seeing us, man.
Have a good day.
See something, say something, okay? Thank you. So we're really a lot earlier than expected because we said we're going to be back. We got 5 more minutes. I guess we can head back in 5 minutes to come together. What's up, man? Hey, excuse me, sir. That's right. He said no, he's not interested.
No way.
You know what my problem is, and this is what is troubling me. We tell them don't sell drugs. We tell them to stop shooting. We tell them stop gangbanging, but we give them no other alternative. And so it's been in my heart to give alternatives. So there's a lot of programs already available. And the problem is that they are not aware of them. Some of them don't know how to even get involved. And I feel that that's the next step in One Voice, One Community, is that we start giving them alternatives to not being in gangs, alternatives to stop hanging around the porches. Some of them feel that there's not an opportunity for them to get a job. But if we start giving them programs and show them the programs, there are some out there. You know, Goodwill has over a tremendous amount of money seeking 18 to 25-year-olds to put in programs. And our problem is that some of them have no knowledge of it. And we're going to start making that our new, instead of saying stop, give them another avenue of approach. We got some feelings wounded, but that's part of it. You know, we know that everybody's not going to receive us. But the most important thing, we prayed as we walk. You know, that's what my key thing. Pray as we walk, as we touch the neighborhood. Reach out and touch as many hands as I can.
Okay, well, this one lady that we visited, her son has some kind of palsy. He's in the hospital because somebody invited him to
Try drugs.
did it once in the hospital. 2 weeks he'll be out. In the meantime, she also lost her husband.
Oh, my.
They've been here 2 months.
Oh, my. Did you get the information?
And
Please,
so,
Who did you get it? Who got it?
oh, did you get her information? Did she? No,
We
okay,
didn't write
yeah,
that
his part,
information
yeah.
down.
But I mean, it's like, who would
We need to reach back out to her. When
Yeah.
she's pouring that heavy, she's a stranger here in the city. Did you know the street number? Did you have the street address?
What's that? We went on the side.
Second house on the corner.
Second house to the left or to the right?
So you never know. So,
Yeah, that's a need, but that is also a need, a cry of can we help in some other way?
We've already made contact with the son.
Yep.
That's already been in the process.
Okay, so you're on top of it, right? Fast? All right.
Oh, no, I mean, that was like one
Actually, yeah, we all got it,
Yeah.
but that's something that we want to reach out to too.
Yep. Well, I think it's part of what we are.
Good afternoon. I'm Keith Wright. I'm with the city's Community Development Department, representing the facilitator of the code compliance team here at the corner of Cabell Street and Rivermont Avenue in the Cabell Street neighborhood. We're conducting a walkthrough with the police department in response to a walkthrough that they had with the neighbors a couple weeks ago, and they had some concerns that they wanted to address. We have the representative from the police department, Officer Lee Hughes, that's going to help guide that.
Sure. Appreciate it, Keith. Keith pretty much said it all. The residents had some complaints, and we're just here to address that. Just like to thank Keith and the rest of code enforcement and Public Works for coming out today to get this done expedited. I really appreciate that, and I'm sure the residents will as well. So I guess we'll go ahead and get started.
Very good, very good. Great, thank you. And we're going to be walking down Cabell Street a couple blocks around the wrap around Amherst Street and address any concerns that might be found.
This inlet looks like it's obstructed. Typically, this would be something that our Water Resources Department would handle. They'll come through and vector this out and flush the inlet. Public Works tends to handle open drainage, so once you get to a closed drainage situation like this, we'll be handing this off to our Water Resources Department. Using it as intentional trash disposal. Yeah, I mean, it's going to impact houses, it's going to impact the street, it's going to impact your ability to walk on the sidewalk during a storm. There's a lot of reasons not to do this kind of thing. You know, things like the utility poles, it's one of the things we rely on the utility to maintain that. We can try and put them on notice to come out and look at it, but honestly, it's
They're called.
yeah, I mean, I can't. We don't have much impact on their customer service, I guess is the way to say that. But it's something that we can point out to them that they have an issue here, but technically we can't touch that. That's why it's cut separately from the sidewalk like that. That's another thing. We'll try and get the pole ID and then get with the utility on that.
To it. Yeah. These items here are what appears to be put out for bulk pickup for city collection. So a lot of times people may, when they put them out, not to block the sidewalk, so that, like in this case, the sidewalk goes straight out to the street. It would push pedestrians right out into the street, so it's unsafe. So as long as people are safely putting the items out, that's really what we're looking for. We do have Clay. He's got a couple comments about the street sweeper and the cleaning of the neighborhoods.
Hey, thanks, Keith. Yeah, talking about our street sweeping, that is something that we do throughout the city. Any curbed streets, if there's a curb and gutter along that street, it is something that we sweep. We do that seasonally. Usually it's done around 6 times a year, depending on the location. And one of the things we wanted to point out is that, pretty much everything from parking lots to private property, if that water is running from those properties to the street, it's bringing along any sediment, any trash, any paper, any of that kind of stuff with it. So we may come through and sweep one evening, and then if it rains later on that night enough that you've actually got flowing water in the street, it'll look a lot like we haven't done anything. And unfortunately, that's kind of the battle that we fight. Every time we come out and sweep is nature's trying to put whatever we removed right back into the curb and gutter. Yeah, it was historic stone. Yeah.
I think they try to spray the old stone once a year.
It's on rough occasion.
Yeah.
It really is. Unfortunately, and this might be a good one to try and form a policy on. Frequently, we're not looking to handle any of the vegetation issues unless it's like a tree obstructing a sidewalk. A lot of times we're asking the neighbors to try and help with spraying in sidewalk joints and that kind of thing. And one of the other issues is when you have these old historic stone sidewalks, none of them meet the handicap accessibility requirements. Right. And so, it's one of those issues of, do you have the historic stone that you prefer, or that you preserve, but you don't have the accessibility that you would with a concrete sidewalk. And that's something that we have struggled with since day one, truly. Because how do you establish what's a trip hazard in this and not? Even if you had the grass out of there, you would still have the stone joints that are a problem.
Right.
we'll have staff come by and take a look at this, but I have a feeling that we might be able to do a kind of a one-time cleanup and trimming, but then we would hope that the neighbors would help to keep it maintained when you maintain
you see
your
what I do,
lawn.
see how low it
We're
is.
responsible for this, right?
Right.
What, ma'am?
We're responsible for this?
We ask for assistance with it because we're just
No,
not...
I'm saying if a kid tripping falls, could they sue us? Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, are we responsible?
Assuming
This
it's
is
in the
our
right of
property?
way, no. So if it's in the right of way, no. If it's on your property, yes. But there is a road right of way, and it's hard to tell exactly what those limits are, especially in the older sections of town. Frequently the roads are narrower because they're so historic.
Right.
But assuming it's in the city right of way, no, you would not be responsible for that.
Yeah.
It's only for snow and ice removal that we actually have code in place for the citizens to keep the sidewalks snow and ice free.
Right.
But as far as weeds and that kind of thing, it's something that we ask to work in partnership on.
I understand.
But that's really the limit of what we can ask you to do.
Right. But I can try to keep it cut and...
Oh yeah, no, it's clear you're mowing it.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, it's clear you're mowing it.
Yeah, we just moved
It's
here.
interesting. It looks like it stops right down here to your patio.
Right.
All right. This property here, we have a violation of the city's weed ordinance. The growth is over 12 inches in height, and so we would send a notice to the property owner to have the property cut. If they don't cut the property within a 10-day grace period, we put it on a list for cutting, and then send the property owner a bill for the work that we've done. The fire hydrant certainly needs to be exposed so that the fire department can safely get to it, make sure it's in proper maintenance, and that they know where it is. With the overgrowth here, it certainly can be overtaken pretty quickly, and in the event of a fire, they might not be able to find it. So sure, we look for situations like this that create safety problems. Obviously, overgrowth is providing harborage for rats, rodents, snakes, that type of thing within our neighborhoods, and to eliminate that hazard, the weed ordinance is in place to address those types of complaints.
I mean, really, the only problem is still the same two houses with problems on Cabell Street, so the rest of it looks fairly well. If you want, we can walk up to the community garden spot at the corner of Rivermont and Cabell. Sure, that'd be fine. Yeah.
Issue with the Jeep?
Yeah, it's not tagged and the inspection is out. The city ordinance, you can't have a Jeep either on public or private, or not a Jeep, but a vehicle on public or private streets that don't have inspection or tags or inoperable. So if it's one of those three criteria, the city will cite either on the police end or community development's end to remove the vehicle, because it does pose a danger for people, kids that can come and play in it. One of my buddies lost a son to a hot car that was inoperable, and so the city years ago enacted an ordinance so that vehicles like that can be removed, so it doesn't create a hazard for citizens around.
All right, we're at the end of the walkthrough here on Cabell Street and Rivermont Avenue. Had a great walk. Met a few residents, and a couple new residents actually. Very successful. We found a number of items that we're going to address and work with the neighborhood on. We do have the police department that wanted to add a few comments, but we look forward to working with the residents to improve things in the Daniels Hill neighborhood and the Rivermont area neighborhood, to make life a little bit better.
Sure, I just want to say thanks to Keith and the rest of code enforcement and the city officials here, because a lot of the problems that are here aren't problems that we can fix, so I appreciate their quick action here coming out. So thank y'all a whole lot, and See y'all a little bit, huh?
Sure thing.
All right.
Yeah, thank you, and we look forward to the next one.